And now, World Improv Network proudly presents Community Court.
When two parties cannot solve a dispute, Community Court is there to solve the problem.
All rise for the Most Honorable Judge Judy Vicarro.
Well, hello everyone. I am Judge Judy Vicarro, sitting in for the Honorable Judge Kenneth Vicarro, my ex-husband.
Yep.
He's out this week on some personal business, getting a vasectomy. And it's good to see you, Bailiff Cliff. It's been too long. I guess it's great to share the courtroom with you again.
If you say so, Judge.
Yeah?
Let's just get this over with.
I know, Junior. I don't like your father much either. But, you know, that's the way it goes. I guess you should have got snipped before we got married. Fine, you can deal with him next week. But anyway, let's get on to the matter at hand here, and that is, it's a pretty strong case that we have today. In lieu of the National Gay Marriage Act that just recently passed by the Supreme Court here, there seems to be some dispute now because of it. Of course, this is probably only one of many coming down the pipe. But nonetheless, what we have here to deal with today is that, we have Larry Moonshine, who's the president of the American Rifle and Muscle Car Association.
Oh, yeah.
And it looks like you have a complaint. You are now suing because it is not, you feel like you're being discriminated against for not being able to marry your Camaro or your AR-15 now that same-sex couples can get married. Is that correct?
That is correct, Judge.
So you think that you should be able to marry inanimate objects?
Oh, you know it. But my car's more than an animate object. I mean, it's got personality. You can hear it when you turn it on. Like, sometimes it purrs because it's feeling good, and sometimes it's sick. And, you know, things are knocking around. It has personality, Judge.
Interesting. And what about your assault rifle? What kind of personality does it have?
Oh, it's pretty monotone. But I don't want to marry my rifle. I just want to marry my Camaro.
Okay. Hey, Bailiff, please make sure to keep that rifle in the lockbox. We don't want to have anything go out of control here in the courtroom today.
Absolutely not, Judge.
Okay, and our defendant is Susie Sunflower. She's the executive director of Rainbows United. You're being sued because you're the main driver behind the Gay Marriage Act. Therefore, it's discriminatory in Mr. Moonshine's perspective that you're not allowing him to marry his Camaro. What kind of thoughts do you have on that matter?
Well, okay, everybody needs to relax, take a step back. You see, gay marriage has been something years and years and years in the making with a whole bunch of scientific proof. We do not have scientific data to support that a marriage between a Camaro and a human being would be a good parent for a child.
Well, maybe you should have talked to me first. I mean, I've had children for a while now. I drive them around in my Camaro.
Well, Mr. Moonshine, you presented here to the court that your children are your 6 AR-15s, one of which is sitting over there in the lockbox next to Bailiff Cliff. And how do you actually attribute them to be your children? I mean, how do you come about?
Excuse me?
Well, you say
Excuse me?
Yes?
Well, no, I'm being indignant.
Well, I will hold you in contempt of court if that's the case, and we'll make this the shortest case ever. Thank God.
May I interject here? Listen, I am all for stability, but your children have a history of violence, and that is the only evidence that we have that comes out of a human being partnered with a Camaro.
Now, there are lots of children all over this country that are very violent, but my children, they're clean. I provide them with as much ammunition and grease as they could want. I cradle them in velvet cloths at night. They are kept in a safe. I take good care of them completely from morning until day night.
Well, Mr. Moonshine, it's not that we're necessarily questioning your parenting
That's
skills.
sure what it sounds like, Judge.
Well, let's keep it straight here. The situation at hand is how is the Rainbow United discriminating against your rights as marriage? You think that every state should be able to sanction a Camaro marriage? Is that what you're saying?
Well, among many others. I'm just saying that they proclaim to be for marriage equality. Well, marriage is not equal for me. What I love happens to be a beautiful cherry red Camaro with black fire on the side that I take care of and I spend most of my day with and inside, and there was no consideration given to my rights.
Okay, let's take a step back here and think about it. I am all about stability. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But what I am seeing is that a Camaro does not replace the needs of a mother or a father figure in a child's life. It does not have the either or the spectrum.
No.
Hey, help me. Present me with scientific data that says a Camaro can be a fulfilling partner in a parentship / marriage.
Now, Miss Sunflower, I would like to, Judge, I would like to enter into evidence some photographs. This is the back seat of my Camaro. As you can see, there is a very extensive gun rack.
That is very
where
nice.
I can put my children, and they are kept safe. It is shaded there. There is a climate control air conditioning system.
Okay, now everybody, let's just take a step back here. Now, I'm all about stability, but there is not stability in a heated car. I don't care what kind of shade there is.
Well, Miss Sunflower, I do have to interject here. I do see that the back seat of this car does have 4 air conditioning units directly on his children, the AR-15s.
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Moonshine, is that actually cashmere that you're wrapping your children in there on the back seat of your car?
Yes.
Very nice.
It's cashmere on the outside, and I have velvet lining on the inside, just to swaddle my children in comfort.
Well, okay. On principle, I don't have really much of a problem with this idea, but there is a problem. The problem is I can see that Pandora's box is going to open, and inside that box is going to be Audi, BMW, Mercedes, Porsche, Ford, Honda, Toyota, and all the other manufacturers are going to come to say, well, how is that not discrimination that a man can't marry his Toyota Camry instead?
Well, I firmly believe that all automobiles should be eligible for marriage.
Okay, now we're just talking
Miss Sunflower,
ridiculous.
what do you think about that? I mean,
I'm thinking that if you make that eligible, next thing you know, there's going to be a smart car homosexual combination. And I just don't think that is stable for a parent.
well, Miss Sunflower, could you please elaborate to the court briefly on how you were able to force this action through the Supreme Court with your Rainbow United coalition? How were you able to do this? What was the sequence of steps over the many years that it took for the Supreme Court?
Well, I can tell you, not one of those steps involved talking to me.
Well,
Mr.
what I will
Moonshine-
say is the first step was taking a step back. And I collected scientific data.
What kind of data are you talking about? Do you have anything to enter into evidence here?
Data that supports stability in a parentship.
I know, Junior. Yes, your father is a meanie. I understand, but he'll be back next week.
You see,
Go
the
ahead.
divorced couples have a higher success rate in parenting than a Camaro-man combination. I just want to point that out.
Well, that has shown that alcoholism is on the rise when a man is in a Camaro. It also shows a lot more abusive violence takes place in Camaros than, let's say, in gay couples. So that's kind of a strike against you there, Mr. Moonshine. But
Oh, and just because there are more murders in Washington, D.C., maybe we should not allow people in Washington, D.C. to get married. That sounds like your logic.
well, to be honest with you, your statistics are correct. There is a lot more murders in Washington, D.C., but nonetheless, the issue is here, should I allow this ruling to take place? I mean, we understand that Rainbows United was a long cause in order to make this happen, and it was at a time when maybe there wasn't a chance...
Oh, sir,
step away from the glass case. Step away
Bailiff,
from
make sure
the
he
glass
doesn't
case.
have access to the key to the gun.
No, I need to be with my children right now.
Okay. No, what I will say is that your children being in this courtroom right now is not a stable environment for a family.
Bailiff Cliff, is there any ammunition inside those guns?
Sir, do not attempt...
Okay.
Oh, no.
Put your kid down.
I'll show you how stable they are. You tell him, Junior. You tell him, what do you think about how stable? Is it a stable environment?
No, don't make the baby
Ooh. Yeah. Now you feel real stable, don't you? Oh, now we gonna go get him, Mama. We gonna go for a drive.
There's been no verdict made today. The whole courtroom is dead. Tune in next week for another episode of Community Court.
Listen to the Win podcast from the KZKO webpage or find their show streaming on YouTube. Stay tuned for Talking Points with Shabazz Davis.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back with another exciting segment for Win on KZKO The Vibe.